By now, many of you have probably already heard of SM trying to start what was initially dubbed as a super boy group. Before I get into my thoughts on the group and anything I may find problematic, let's go over what this group is. Last week it was announced that SM would be working in collaboration with Capitol Records to debut a new boy group in the US. This boy group was lauded with praises of Avengers of K-pop and will go by the name SuperM. The super refers to the impressive synergy of the talented artists, while the M stands for matrix and master. The group will contain 7 members from a group of SM's already existing active boy groups. The group will be comprised of SHINee's Taemin, EXO's Baekhyun and Kai, NCT 127's Taeyong and Mark, and WayV's Tin and Lucas, with a focus on a US debut, but will also promote in Korea, while there is no mention of any other Asian promotions. On top of a slur of other issues, the group is already facing a lot of backlash. One more thing before I dive into this group. Lee Soo-man, aka the titular figurehead behind SM Entertainment, has recently been involved with the internal transactions in which money had been funneled to another company called Like Planning, which is entirely owned by Lee Soo-man. SM is also in talks of potentially closing their SM Town co-ex, Artium, as well as other ventures within their business. Now they have a new pair of co-CEOs, and KB Asset Management, who holds shares in SM, is looking for change within the company, and SuperM seems like it may be a move they are trying to make as things change internally to try to make up for some of their deficit. The complaints. I'm not going to get into fan wars too much, but it seems that even within the SM ecosystem, fans for the various groups involved are sniping the other members. Nasty comments are abound that are entirely unnecessary, but there are complaints that are more than valid and bring question to why this group is happening. Many of these groups are under-promoted. In terms of SHINee, this is largely because most of the members are currently enlisted. For EXO, fans have complained for years about SM's recent under-promotion of the group. Many claim that their lack of promotion for EXO lends no reason for why this supergroup has the opportunity when EXO could have had those opportunities in the past. For NCT fans, they're worried that this will take away from the main group promotions when it seems that SM already struggles with managing and promoting the subgroups within NCT. For WayV, who are separated yet still technically part of NCT, fans are again worried about their promotion in the way of seemingly yet again dumping all the Chinese members in favor of pushing Tin and Lucas. Members should focus on individual or their home groups' promotions. While Taemin has been successful over the past few years as a solo artist separate from SHINee, EXO members have yet to do this. Baekhyun recently had a very successful first mini album, but others have not yet had their opportunity, and enlistments already are beginning, and this takes away from time for solo promotions. For NCT WayV members, the majority of those who will be part of SuperM are actually international and will not have to enlist at all. It seems like an obvious money grab. No matter how you twist this, SM seems to be taking the most popular members from their groups that are available and shoving them together. The idea being that if they are the most popular, they will bring their individual fans and together they will be a powerful group. But while the composition of the group is indeed powerful for a group set on Western market, it seems to be missing the mark. Finally, there's the name SuperM. Many fans are not super thrilled by the name, as it could be easily misread as sperm or the close relation to the name Super Junior, amongst other complaints for this lackluster name. They could have tried harder to have at least a good name for this project. This brings me to the big question: why USA in the first place? So we know they will promote in Korea, but we also know that they will be promoting in the US. The group was officially announced on US soil too. But the real question is, why push for the US? And I think many K-pop fans get upset about the idea of K-pop groups pushing for expansion outside of Asia. And yes, it does come with risks inherent with the associating with a different culture, but the key thing is money. For many years, Korea focused on China and Japan. However, activities in Japan, while becoming a tiny bit easier, could still easily tighten again and are still extremely restricted as China is pushing for their own internal market instead. And there are tensions brewing between Japan and Korea. However, the US music industry is the largest in the world. On top of that, US and Korea relations are actually rather good, and that means access is less difficult than a country actively trying to limit them. If a company can stake their share in a market, even if it is very small, but in a market this large, they can make earnings as buying power with US market holds a huge amount, which can help bolster their own domestic sales. That is why US is a target and is unlikely to stop being one soon. This doesn't mean K-pop will become the most popular genre, but like Latin music, it could create its own niche that will be able to thrive within the US market and still make money. My thoughts and where I stand. I've been trying to keep my overall opinion out of this as I went over the facts and complaints on this group. So now here's my honest opinion. SuperM is an ugly grab at trying to concoct some supergroup that, while may have good intention, comes off as something far less than authentic. That being said, I absolutely adore Taemin, Baekhyun, and Ten, and always want to support them, so this will be no different for me. The last thing that I want is these guys, who I absolutely love, to feel like failures or rejected for a plan that the company has come up with. We also don't know how any of these guys feel about the project, and they could be legitimately enjoying working together and having a great time. So I don't want to not support them just because SM is being dumb. Also, I do think it's very weird that they are doing a group intended for US promotions and aren't using the American, Johnny, or the one who briefly lived in America and speaks English, Jaehyun. My only guess is that they didn't want it to seem like an imbalanced group and kept it to 2 people from each of their home groups. That said, we will have a group doing US promotions with Mark talking, Ten talking, and Taeyang chiming in. At least we're gonna get a whole lot more Taemin waving gifts. Let me know what you think about the SuperM group. Are you going to support them? What are your complaints? What do you think is the worst thing about this situation? Honestly, it is a really, really weird idea, and if it came out a bit more organically, I think I would be far more behind it. But because I want to support the guys, I'm gonna be there, but I still think it's really weird and maybe not the best idea. And why SM?